The funeral of the late Deputy President, David Mabuza, will be held this coming Saturday, with the government now officially taking the lead on communication and logistics of the process. Mabuza died in a Johannesburg hospital on Thursday afternoon after suffering from shortness of breath. He passed away in the emergency room while doctors were trying to stabilise him. At the same time, ANC leaders and supporters continue to make their way to Mabuza's family home in Barberton. This is where we find our senior politics reporter, Ziyanda Ngcobo, this morning. Ziyanda, from the information that we have, we know that Thursday there are a number of memorial services that are likely to take place. I think 3 to be exact. Has that information changed? What else have we learnt about the impending funeral of the former late Deputy Vice President?
Well, a very good afternoon to you, Hugo. Any moment from now, we expect the arrival of ANC Youth League President Colin Malachi to the home of the late former Deputy President. As you've mentioned, scores of people continue to come and pay their condolences to the Mabuza family, and as well as setting up, inside the home, lots of arrangements. I'm sure you can see banners around me, but I'm going to bring in young people who would have interacted with Mabuza and who would have been touched by his ability to move through the ranks of the ANC. I'll bring in the ANC Youth League chairperson here in Mpumalanga, Zunguza, as well as the provincial secretary, Talente. Let's start with you, Bethwell. You were just telling me off air how you came to interact with the late Deputy President when you were still in SASCO. What are some of the key things that you learned from him? Because I'm sure in SASCO you're very energetic, you want to get your point across, and sometimes you feel the elders try to stifle you. What was Mabuza like?
Well, thank you very much for the opportunity. I led COSAS, firstly, not SASCO, as a provincial secretary, provincial chair, and as the treasurer general. Mabuza was the greatest leader in the province, was the best leader. We have learned a lot from him. As a provincial chair of the ANC in Mpumalanga, we have learned that to behave was always reprimanding us because we were very energetic. We had more energy to march, to shut down schools, to close schools. Was able to call us and reprimand us as young people and ensure that we are doing what is right. So Mabuza was one of the best leaders that we're having here in Mpumalanga. Nendazenzile is too much for the province. Msebenzi yakhe yenzile esibonile to ensure that he assist those ones who can't go to school, ensure that ubanikeza amabhazari, and from his pocket also to assist those ones abangakhona ukuregister. Kuningi akwenzile, I can count them. We can go to even where I come from in Kavenbegi. Simbonile identify abogogo, build houses for abogogo, and ensure that families abangakhona ukuzenzela something was able to ensure that uyabanceda ubenzela something, uyabalekelela. Was always there for people. It was the leader of people. Umuntu bekabathanda abantu. It's a leader who was committed to people. I think first love of Mabuza was people before himself. Was always taking care of our people. Is the leader who's always been with our people. Where I used to call him Mr. Service Delivery. When the chairperson visits the service delivery will improve sharply. The service delivery is was always there for our people. That was Titi Mabuza.
Let me bring in Talent and Ndebele, the provincial secretary of the ANC Youth League here in Mpumalanga. Of course, the Youth League has gone through a difficult time, structures almost non-existent, and there's been a drive within the ANC and Youth League to rebuild those structures. As you go about that process and now also memorializing Mabuza, what do you think he leaves behind in terms of young people and their activism, and in an environment where some would say, youth politics is not as vibrant as it used to be?
Thank you very much. Firstly, let's extend our condolences to Mage Mabuza and Mabuza family, the relatives, the community of Mpumalanga, and that of South Africa. Of course, as young people, we feel like we would jeopardize an opportunity to engage with Mabuza because we had an appointment with him to discuss these issues we are mentioning it at length. Because, there are a lot of things that are happening in the province, the support for young people in terms of SMMEs, the education. You know that he had loved, as many has described him as a person who was passionate with education. There are colleges that were abandoned in this province, the Elijah Mango, your Mkwenya College, where he studied, by the way, as well as Marapiani College. So we wanted to have this issue, to discuss this issue at length with him, because we are engaging the national government, because the competence for higher education is largely at national level. We are also engaging the provincial government regarding those issues. And we wanted to, because he was a visionary leader, the establishment of the University of Mpumalanga and the rest, we discovered along the path that he had a vision that there must be an amalgamation of this institution in the form of resuscitating these colleges that are abandoned. So we were jeopardized that opportunity. But I think for now what is left with us is to learn what he has done for the province, the immense work that people the comrades have mentioned before. But I think above and beyond that, as the ANC Youth League will be urging the Council of University of Mpumalanga to rename one of its buildings after Comrade Mabuza, to just honor him for the work he has done for the province. We will also engage the university, the council, to also honor him with to confer him a doctoral honorary doctorate, so that the people that will come to the university, the learners, the students, would learn more about the history of Comrade Mabuza and his contribution in this province. We'll also engage the provincial government. You have Rob Ferreira, those institutions, those government institutions that must be renamed after Comrade Mabuza, because they're at the center of assisting the people of the province. So that's what we will be engaging going further, to immortalize the history and the contribution of Comrade Mabuza. Thank you very much.
All right, Talent Ndebele is the ANC Youth League's provincial secretary, with the chairperson of the Youth League here in this province as well, Bethwell Zunguza. So memorializing, immortalizing David Mabuza is what the Youth League here is going to be agitating for, the resuscitation of colleges that have now been abandoned, and amalgamating them, and also renaming some of these institutions after Mabuza. As of course in the next coming days, Hugo, lots of activities have been planned by the ANC, and as I've mentioned earlier, at around 1 o'clock we expect Colin Malachi, the president of the ANC Youth League, to also come and pay his condolences.